Rest at the end, not in the middle. It's a Kobe Bryant quote I want to talk about. Hey, welcome back. Jeff Heggie, Daily Success Strategies. Thanks for being with me today. Rest at the end, not in the middle. Famous Kobe Bryant quote. I actually heard it 2 different times today, and so it got me thinking about different situations. I want to give you an example of something that I think we can use, whether you're an athlete, an entrepreneur, whatever you're doing, to put this in perspective. I was at my son's football practice last week, and the coach had him running some drills where they were pushing one of the tackle dummies across the grass, around a dummy, all the way back, and then the next person would go and do the same thing. Obviously, bent over, pushing this across the grass was just burning up their legs. It was hard, and they did it over and over, and they were all tired. And you could watch the different individuals and see their different mindset and their mentality. There was the ones that, they'd take a few steps and they would fall to their knees and sit there for a bit and then push a little bit more. And there's the ones that would try and still end up getting part way and falling to their knees. And then the other ones that you could tell that it was just burning and they were struggling with it, but they just pushed to the end. And I had a conversation with my son about it after his practice. And I said, you know what? If you just went all out, went all the way across, went around the pylon, came all the way back, it was probably a 30 to 45 second, maybe a little bit more drill. And it burned their legs. It was a hard drill by the time they'd done it a number of times. But really, could you keep doing it even though you're tired? And he said yes. I said, then what would stop you from doing it? And he says, well, if we got too tired, we would drop to our knees or whatever it might be. But the point that I wanted to make with him was, you can do anything for a minute. You can make yourself go through that physical pain for a minute to finish that, knowing that by doing those hard things, you're physically getting stronger, yes, but you're also mentally getting stronger because you're completing it. There's so much strength in the mental side by completing things. I've talked about this before. We had a basketball practice that at the first of the practice, I made my team do a few up and backs, and we conditioned a lot because we did a lot of run and gun, we pressed, we did all that stuff. So my team was used to conditioning. But I pushed them, and after a drill, I'd stop them and say, okay, 5 up and backs. We'd do a little bit more of a drill. I'd stop them and say, okay, 2 up and backs. Okay, 7 up and backs, whatever it was. And, at the end of practice, they all knew that we had done a lot of conditioning, that it was a hard practice. What they didn't know is when I sat down with them at the end of that practice, I said, does anyone have any idea how many up and backs we did? And, there's a few that threw out some numbers because they knew we had done quite a few. I said, would anyone believe that we did 101? And they were like, you were actually keeping track? I said, yes, I did this intentionally with purpose because it wasn't for your physical getting in shape conditioning. It was the mental part. Because when we were doing 99, 100, 101, they were still encouraging each other. They were still pushing each other. And, we had players that are always slow when they run, that were still pushing themselves to finish. And when they got done, even though it was hard, if I would have said at the first of practice, we're going to do 101 up and backs, none of them would have wanted to do it. None of them would have said, yeah, let's do this, and we're excited about it. There would have been some that said, I've got a sore ankle, I've got a sore knee, I've got a doctor's appointment, whatever it is. But after they had done it, every single one of them was proud of themselves. They knew they could do hard things. They knew that they could do things that other people aren't willing to do, that other people couldn't do. And that was a mental strength that they developed within themselves that they carried throughout the rest of the season and today. I still see some of those players. This was a few years ago. And they'll talk about that time we did 101 up and backs. They're proud of it because they know they can do hard things. And you know what? None of them quit in the middle. None of them quit on me. If I would have said we're doing 101 up and backs, there probably would have been some. But now they look back and they know they can do those hard things. So whatever it is, whether it's in athletics, whether it's in business, when it gets hard, don't quit in the middle. Quit at the end. It's a great quote by Kobe. Hopefully that's something that'll ring true to you and remind you when things are hard, you can do anything for a minute. Keep going. Another story, I remember running a half marathon with my wife and her sister, and when I finished, I walked back so I could meet up with them eventually and finish the race with them again. And it was through the mountains, and they weren't very happy with me, but as we were going, I would tell them, you know what, it's just up around this next corner, and they would push themselves. And then we'd get around that corner and say, you know what, just a little bit more. And I kept egging them on just to keep pushing. And they did. They pushed all the way to the end. They were mad because it was further than I had made them believe, but they were able to pull more out of themselves than if they would have realized how far it still was. You can do more than you think if you have the right mindset. You've got to prepare yourself to be able to do those things. So that's what I encourage you to do today. When things get hard, you can do anything for a minute. Keep going. When you get through that minute, just go one more minute. Get through that minute. Go one more minute. Keep going one more minute till you get to the end. Then you can rest. Thanks for being with me. Be back tomorrow. Athletes put a lot of time, money, and effort into the physical aspect of their sport, but they often neglect the mental game. And the mental game, it's just as important as the physical. In fact, it's often the differentiating factor between good and great athletes. If you really want to reach your full potential, if you want to be a great athlete, you've got to pay attention to the mental game. Now, come and join us in the Confident Athlete program, where you're going to learn how to develop powerful mindset, extreme self-confidence, and really take your game to the next level. Come and check us out at confidentathleteprogram.com/membership. Who you surround yourself with really does matter. The people you associate with and spend time with have a huge impact on who you become and what you do in your life. Hi, my name is Jeff Heggie, and I want to tell you about my Inner Circle Mastermind group. This is a group that's designed to surround you with like-minded high achievers who will help you to think bigger and amplify the performance of your business and your life while tearing down all the barriers that are holding you back. A mastermind is the fastest way to get you to the next level. If you're ready to network and connect with other successful entrepreneurs and influencers, go to coachheggie.com/mastermind.